I never believed in anything supernatural until last winter. It started on a quiet Sunday night. I was half asleep on the couch when my TV suddenly turned itself on. Just static, white noise, flickering like a storm inside the screen. At first, I thought the remote slipped between the cushions, but then the volume began rising, slowly, one click at a time. The static grew so loud it felt like it was shaking the walls. I stood up to turn it off, and that's when I saw it. In the static, for half a second, a shape appeared. A tall shadow, standing perfectly still. I blinked. It was gone. I told myself I was tired, but the weird part came later, when my phone buzzed. A notification, new voicemail. No number, no caller ID. I pressed play. There was static, the same static from my TV. Then a man's voice, low, rough, like he was speaking from inside the noise. He said, "I'm already in the house." My stomach dropped. I froze where I stood. I checked every room, every window, every lock. Nothing. But while I searched, the TV turned itself back on, and the shape in the static was closer. That night, I barely slept. The next day, I set up a small camera facing the living room, just to prove to myself that nothing was wrong. But something was wrong. When I reviewed the footage, my blood went cold. At exactly 3:11 a.m., the camera shook slightly, like someone brushed past it. Then the TV flickered on. No static this time, just a pitch black screen. And as the image brightened, a face appeared. Not a ghostly one, not a monster. A man. Pale skin, sunken eyes, standing inches from the camera, staring into it, as if he knew I would watch the recording later. His lips moved, but the camera picked up no sound. He stood there for 10 full seconds, then vanished when the TV turned off again. I didn't go home after that. I stayed with a friend, changed the locks, even replaced the TV. But last night, I got another voicemail. Same unknown number, same static. But this time, the voice whispered only 2 words, "Turn around." And when I did, I swear I saw a tall shadow slip into my bedroom a fraction of a second before the door closed by itself. He follows the signal. I didn't sleep at all after I saw the shadow slip into my bedroom. I sat on the living room floor with every light on, waiting for the sun to rise. But when morning came, I realized something I still can't explain. My bedroom door was wide open. Not just open, the hinges were ripped out of the frame, like someone had forced it from the inside. I called a contractor to fix it. He stared at the damage for a long time before saying, "This wasn't kicked in. This looks like someone pulled it off with both hands." That night, I checked into a hotel, high floor, room 708. I didn't tell anyone where I was staying. At 2:13 a.m., the hotel phone rang. Not my mobile, the hotel phone. The one that nobody should have the number to. I answered with a shaking voice. Static. Deep, heavy static. Then the man's voice, closer this time, clearer. He said, "You moved." My heart nearly stopped. He continued, "Don't bother running. I follow the signal." I slammed the phone down, but the line didn't disconnect. The static kept pouring out, vibrating through the room like a heartbeat. I ripped the cable from the wall. Silence. I sat on the floor, shaking, staring at the door. The peephole went dark, like something was standing on the other side, blocking it. Then, bang. A single knock. Slow, deliberate. I grabbed every object I could use as a weapon. But then, suddenly, the peephole cleared. Whatever was standing there was gone. I stayed awake until sunrise. When I opened the door to leave, I noticed something lying on the carpet. A small piece of black tape, positioned directly in front of my door. I picked it up. It had numbers written on it, scratched in with something sharp. 3:11. The same time the shadow appeared on my camera. That was when I realized something else. There were smear marks on the carpet. Dark, gray streaks leading away from my door, as if someone had been dragged across the floor. But the security cameras showed nothing. No person, no movement, no disturbances, just static. Not on the video, in the audio, a faint whispering under the noise. I see you. I checked out, grabbed my things, and ran. But as I reached the exit, I felt my phone vibrate. Another voicemail. I didn't want to listen, but part of me needed to know. I pressed play. The voice was right next to the microphone, breathing heavily, almost excited. It's ended, and behind me, the elevator doors began to open. The elevator door slid open with a slow metallic groan. I stood frozen in place, holding my breath, waiting to see who or what was inside. But the elevator was empty. At least, it looked empty. Something felt wrong. The air inside was freezing, like someone had just been standing there. The metal walls were fogged, as if a breath had lingered too long. I stepped backwards, refusing to go in. Then the lights in the hallway flickered. Once, twice, and the elevator doors began closing again. Just before they shut, I saw it. A handprint appear on the inside wall, pressed from the inside, sliding downward, leaving a long streak as if someone had just dragged their hand across the metal. I ran to the stairwell. Every step echoed like someone was following a few seconds behind me. Slow, heavy footsteps. But every time I looked back, the stairs were empty. I pushed through the exit door to the hotel parking lot, gasping for air. That's when I saw the car. My car. The headlights were already on, but I had the keys in my pocket. I approached slowly. The driver's window was fogged over from the inside, and written on the glass, traced with a fingertip, were two words: too late. I backed away. My phone buzzed. Another voicemail. I didn't even hesitate. I pressed play. But this time, there was no static. Just breathing. Loud. Hungry. Right against the microphone. Then the voice whispered, "You shouldn't have left the house." A pause. Like he was smiling. "Go home. I want to finish where we started." The message ended. But something else caught my eye. Across the hotel lot, Under a flickering street lamp was a shape, tall, still, facing me. No face, no details, just a silhouette darker than the night around it. And then it started walking, slow, deliberate steps, straight toward me. I ran, didn't look back. I sprinted down 3 blocks until my lungs burned, ducked behind a dumpster, and hid like a terrified child. My phone vibrated again. A text message this time, from my own number. I opened it with shaking hands. The message read, "Stop hiding. I can hear you breathing." I covered my mouth, trying not to make a sound. But then something happened that nearly stopped my heart. A shadow moved across the ground in front of me, tall, long-limbed. Even though nothing was there to cast it, it slid across the pavement, stopping directly at my feet. And then a voice whispered from behind the dumpster, inches from my ear, "Found you. Signal lost." I didn't move. Couldn't move. The voice behind the dumpster was so close, I could feel the warmth of breath on my neck, but when I turned, nothing was there. Just cold air and silence. Then my phone began ringing. Not buzzing, ringing, loud enough to echo through the alley. The caller ID said, "Unknown device connected." My hands shook as I answered. No breathing this time, no whispering, just a calm, steady voice. "You've been running in circles. You never left me." I swallowed hard. "Who are you?" The voice let out a small laugh. "I'm the one you saw in the static. The one in the elevator. The one leaving you messages." A pause. "You invited me." My head spun. "I didn't invite anything." "Yes, you did." His voice dropped lower. "The day you watched that recording at 3:11 a.m., you opened the signal." The dumpster suddenly rattled behind me, as if something massive brushed against it. The voice continued, "I am not a ghost. I'm a frequency, a pattern, a message that listens back." I stood shaking. "What do you want from me?" The alley lights flickered. One by one, they went out, moving slowly toward me. "I want your voice," the man said, "so I can speak through you. People trust a human voice." The darkness swallowed the last light. I felt a hand, ice cold, slide onto my shoulder. "But don't worry," he whispered. "You won't feel anything once the signal takes you." I screamed and ran. I don't remember how far. I don't remember falling. I only remember waking up hours later on my living room floor. The TV was on, but it wasn't static now. It was a news broadcast. My face on the screen. My voice speaking, calm, steady, reading a story. A missing person report. My own name. My own photo. My own disappearance. My phone buzzed beside me. A voicemail. Shaking, I pressed play. My voice spoke on the recording. But I wasn't speaking. "I told you," the voice said through my mouth. "You invited me." The message ended, and the TV turned black except for one sentence. "Signal transfer complete." After that, everything went silent. I don't know where my real voice went or what's using it now. But sometimes, late at night, my phone plays static on its own, and I hear myself whispering things I don't remember saying. And now it's the end. Don't forget to subscribe our channel and support our stories.